Okay, well, time to tackle on the absolute dead anime series that is Love Live again, and one of their units for promotional purposes. Now, Rebirth is based off the Nijigasaki High School series. Granted, I stopped caring about Love Live a long time ago, as basically the same exact anime with the same exact plot, just with different characters each time. So my expectations on this track was extraordinarily low. And you know what? I'll give credit where credit is due. It's the first time I've heard from a Love Live track that has relatively changed its sound. Granted, it still hasn't lost the entire premise of being an anime idol soundtrack, but it's mainly in the production and the delivery of the vocals on this track that has changed its sound. In the end, honestly, this just sounds like a modern day BTS track trying to appeal to the masses, so it leaves me not really caring about this. You know, as of lately, it seems like Saucy Dog just hasn't caught the same virality from any of their releases this year. Unlike in 2021 with their massive hit, Shindurada Boy, it wound up getting a decent portion of their older music to chart, as well as one of them making last year's year-end list as well. So it's quite jarring to see Saucy Dog's overall success just dwindle down within a year and a half. I thought this band had potential to become massive in the alternative genre due to how low-key a lot of their music is for J-Rock, but this track pretty much reassures me that at some point making similar tracks isn't a formula for success, or, well, at least winning me over. Now I must confess something here. I'm not too familiar with these anime band groups unless if it's tied to an actual mainstream anime that's being talked about amongst the community. So I wouldn't say I'm the most qualified person to review this, but screw it. The song's beat is a watered down version of a Fake Type song, and I just want to make it clear that Fake Type is some of the most goofy, theatrical-esque production you'll ever listen to, period. With this group, there's literally zero research in English when it comes to who they are and where they are from. Now, from what I could gather, it looks like this group are characters in some kind of dating simulation game, which I'm not even remotely familiar with because I've never played any dating simulators before. So for this whole review, I just could be wrong about this entire track, but in the end, am I really gonna care about this post this review? Well, no, the answer is no. Unless it's the whole purpose of listening to this because of cute anime boys. Realistically then, it's not even a song you should remotely care about either. So this is the newest single from Chiaki Satou's new album that was released back in late June, and while I don't have a lot to say on this matter, I mean, wow, just wow. I'm just so freaking happy that Lilas Ikuta doesn't have such overpowering vocals to the point where it's insufferable. I like this more low-key tone that she's got going on here. Hey, Ayase, you know, the main producer on Yasobi, could you maybe do more of these tracks, you know, as a suggestion here? This track I would assume is for the ongoing summer festival season 2, so maybe that's also the appeal to this track, but yeah, this is a relatively nice funky sounding track that honestly gets me grooving. So yeah, this is some good stuff too. Show me up. You know, in all seriousness, Treasure has not made a song that really knocked my socks off after Hello Hello, because that song was just relatively fun and innocent. And the production especially was solid to go for this electropop type of hype song about love. To me, when I first listened to this, I thought of On by BTS if it was just the Walmart version, except surprise, surprise, this song is once again about sex. It's just adding on to the trope of cute K-pop guys making an utterly cheesy song about sex and love, so I've heard this about 70,000 times before. This one, however, kind of stands out a little bit, mainly because I thought the bridge was just borderline laughable, and the bass on the track just sounds cheap as all hell. At least with BTS's track On, that bridge was almost revolutionary at the time. But it's all because of the build-up beforehand throughout the whole song, because it did a solid job at convincing the listener that they will do whatever it takes to love and protect their partner. On a cheesy K-pop song about sex, it just doesn't work the same way. And not only that, the instrumental for the bridge is so out of place. It didn't need to get added in there and it was so unnecessary. So overall, I would say this is the first bad track of this week. This track, although while it is pretty basic, is a nice little wavy summer pop song about personifying lime and lemon, comparing to the chemistry of two people. It's a relatively chill dance summer song, but it leaves me with not a lot to say. It's cool though. I don't mind it sticking around. If there was one word I could describe this song, it's juvenile. After listening to this, I felt like this song, if there was a Nickelodeon hotel in Japan, this would be the summer anthem of that resort. It's delivered in this very bubbly summertime sound with the kind of a cartoonish delivery, especially in the production where it's brisker. If I was really young still, I probably would enjoy this, but for now, it's kind of just cheesy for me. It doesn't really appeal to me overall. Alright, the newest big single from J-pop megastar Yonezu Kenshi, and the second one post full face reveal. This one is for the new Final Fantasy game that just got released. Now personally, I'm not familiar with the series. I've never played Final Fantasy, so it's possible that my review might be a little bit skewed, but to be honest, I wanted to like this more than I did. And the cons of this track are more revealing than I would have realized if I didn't listen to this multiple times. As always, Yonezu delivers a solid vocal performance as per usual, but it almost feels like that combined with the whole song, it just gives up this vibe of trying way too hard to sell some emotion, which in the end kind of just makes me feel oddly neutral, because in one hand, I get what he was going for, this grandiose sound, but at the same time, he's already done this way more effectively in the past, mainly with his mega smash hit, Lemon. Overall, this to me just feels like a better version of his single from 2 years ago called Pale Blue, and if anything, it only just reassures me how mid that single actually was. And that concludes our week. There isn't enough songs to do any honorable or dishonorable mentions, but the best and the worst stand out like a sore thumb, with the best being Senkou Hanabi by Satou Chiaki, and the worst easily going to Move by Treasure. For Japan's current chart week, my plan is to upload it by Sunday night, so stay tuned for that, and if anyone was wondering, no, I did not need to get stitches. Thankfully, but I was recording these voiceovers with a split tongue nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.